The thing is, we still have no end of this pandemic in sight. Politically, no end in sight. Because the idea that our country will somehow reduce its COVID caseload to zero COVID versus measuring hospitalizations and deaths, this goal of zero COVID is a political strategy. It's a political strategy in the sense that it's a forever strategy to continue to allow power grabs. Zero COVID is never going to happen. Never. But if that's what we're waiting for, then we'll be waiting forever. And in the meantime, politicians will continue to use COVID to accumulate power and violate your rights. Now, you might be thinking, well, we are experiencing an uptick. We are experiencing another wave of COVID this summer. And here's what I would say on that. It's a seasonal peak. It's expected, and it's actually not that big of a deal. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to the people who are suffering and the people who are dying. I'm saying numbers-wise, it's nothing compared to last year. So first of all, case numbers continue to mean nothing, just as they almost always have, because of the high cycle threshold in PCR tests. So cases mean absolutely nothing. You could test positive while you're actively sick. You could test positive not even being sick at all, asymptomatic. You could test positive 2 months after you were sick. So case numbers mean just about nothing. Right now, we're about, if you look at the trajectory of this outbreak, we're about a week away from the seasonal peak right now. This happened in the South during the summer last year, just like it's happening this year. But this year, deaths are way down and hospitalizations are way down. Take a look at this graphic. That was July of 2020. And you can see the peak of deaths that happened in the middle of the summer. See that right around July, the end of July? Okay, well, compare that to this year. This is June and July of 2021. Look at the peak of deaths happening in the summer. Again, we're almost maybe a week away from that. And then compare that to this. This is the number of excess deaths that happened last year versus the number of excess deaths that are happening this year. As you can see from that graphic on your screen, and I'll describe it for those who are listening and not watching, the number of excess deaths right now during June and July of 2021 is about normal. It's about where we were before the beginning of this pandemic. Compared to this time last year, excess deaths were up quite a bit. That's the truth about what's happening right now. But because politicians are embracing this zero COVID strategy with these really inaccurate case counts because of the high cycle thresholds on PCR tests, they're using this as an excuse to restrict our freedoms again. That's what we're seeing with the mask mandates. Fauci's talking about a national mask mandate. They're using it to try to push vaccine mandates. Don't allow it to happen. And any politician who allows it to happen, vote them out of office.
Hi. Before you go, let me talk to you about something. As you know, I've been censored on Facebook and YouTube. So I partnered with Locals to create a censorship-free community. I also just launched my show, and I have a lot of exciting new things coming up that I want to make sure I can share with you and get your input on. I'm going to be sharing behind-the-scenes looks of my set and my show prep, and I get a lot of questions about my hair and makeup routines, my research process, and so much more. So I'll give you sneak peeks of all of that. I'll also be doing exclusive segments of my show just for Locals VIPs. All of my interviews will be shared on Locals for VIPs to watch as well. I'll be taking questions directly from VIPs for the video mailbag in my show, and you'll get the episodes free from ads. Who doesn't love that? Not to mention, I'll keep doing everything that you've already come to love. Ask me questions for live Q&As. Let's talk about your favorite books, what yummy vegan food I'm eating for lunch, and what ridiculous headlines I'm reading today. You can do all of that and more, but only if you are a Liz Wheeler Show VIP on Locals. The monthly subscription is $9 a month, but if you really want a good deal, we have an annual subscription for just $72. That's 4 months free. 4 months. So join me on Locals as a VIP. I'll see you over there.